big heavy D4S, which was an absolute beast of a camera. I loved it. I felt like a proper photographer when I had it on. And then I went to Fujifilm in 2016. And then the irony is because there were smaller and lighter cameras, I'm now shooting medium format, which is the same size as the D4S. So still a bit smaller, but just as heavy.
Yeah. What was the main change in moving to medium format, or what's the advantage shooting medium format over?
Not many people are, so it's a bit of a USP, especially at weddings. It shoots natively in the 4:3 ratio, so it looks a bit more retro when it comes off the camera. And the lenses that I use, the depth of field is just a lot more fuzzy. So you get that nostalgic look to it, where the cameras I use are lenses are 1.7, which is about 1.2, 1.3 in old money. So at 85mm at f2, which is about 1.4, it just the drop off and depth of field is just gorgeous off it. And then the end result is better because you've got a higher file size, so you can print bigger, and it looks like you. And it makes, when people are going through the albums, people forget a photograph should be printed. When they're looking at something on a screen, yeah, it's great. But when they come and view their album on the desk here, they go, oh my God, I can't believe how clear they are. And that's the payoff of going to medium format for me.
Was this a big change? Like just in terms of like approach when you were shooting?
Yeah, I initially had to be a lot slower because the first, the GFX 50S was great, but it was really slow. It's taken, that was 2017, so it's taken sort of 6 years to get to a point where the GFX system is fast enough to shoot a wedding. And I would say my 102 is as fast as my XT5 as far as autofocus lock, face tracking, darkness. It's now at a point where it's good enough to shoot a full wedding on.
Yeah, because that's the thing I always find, like with technology moving on, there are things like eye tracking, for example, that like in the latest versions of the Z8, for example, it makes such a huge difference when I shoot, when I shoot things like boxing, for example, people moving around, people crossing in front of another person, because although I'm ringside and I'm right up by the ropes, you can't control where these people are moving, and they're moving fast.
Comes across and
exactly,
and,
and they're fast. So there's no way you can realistically.
I wouldn't shoot. Well, I have shot sport on the medium format. So I'm doing a talk at TPS, funny enough, about the GFX and it's actually titled, yes, I use medium format for weddings. But to make a point, I shot sport with it. I shot a Taylor Swift tribute act with it. And I did, what else did I do? I did a load of like burst files just to prove how good these cameras are now, because the perception, much like RAW versus JPEG, is medium format's not fast enough for weddings. It didn't used to be, but it sure is now.
Yeah. What are the disadvantages there? Is it like, I'm thinking low light performance, like as far as the sensors are concerned, is that?
It's getting pretty good. Again, the 50S, the 50R, even the first GFX 100, not so great in low light. But when they did the GFX 100S, that was the first camera that I thought, oh, this is the proper wedding camera now. I can go up to 12,800 ISO and it's great.
Where's that going technology-wise for you, do you think?
So Fujifilm, especially with GFX, they're bringing out a 1.7 aperture range of lenses, which is great because it means you don't have to push that ISO up as high as you used to. I've got pictures in my talk next week at TPS where I've shot a first dance at 1.7 and it's 800 ISO. There's enough light that's coming in through the lens so it negates having to push up above 1,000. So they're trying to build a better lens to let more light in so it reduces that ISO intake as well.
What is the sort of noise ratio like if you compare it to, let's say, I don't know, an R5 or like a Z?
It's hard to say, I've never used one. But I think some noise is good. I think especially if you're shooting speeches or first dance, you want a little bit of noise in there to make it look real and a bit gritty. But 12,800, I have no problem. And I have no problem with it. It's okay.
There's often like a complete what's the word? The overemphasis on noise anyhow. I mean, this is
I think people fixate on the wrong things sometimes. I think people are so fixated on, it should be like this, but sometimes it's okay. I'd rather get the shot at 12,800 ISO and it'd be a bit grainy than miss it because I'm trying to keep the ISO down and it be out of focus because the camera just can't cope with it. So I'd much rather get the shot than not.
It's an interesting, I mean, it's an interesting concept because it's like on one hand, because of the fact that you're shooting JPEG, you're sort of, you're introducing risk in a way. And I quite like the idea because it does keep you on your toes as a photographer. That to me, that's always the thing. I don't like to become complacent with things like that. And I like certain challenges. Doing video is like there's one challenge after the other. I mean, you've got audio and lighting and blah, blah, blah.
That's a headache for me. Just even watching the guys that I do weddings with, they've got 5 cameras and 3 wireless mics. I get anxiety just looking at it. I'm just like, I can't, I'm like, what? Like, well, give me like 2, I shoot with 2 cameras and that's enough I can do. All I can deal with is 2 cameras on a day.
But I do like the idea of slowing down with things. I mean, that's exactly why I started shooting film. It's just, it just gets me to this headspace.
That was the thing as well. Coming from the D4S and the X Pro 2 to the medium format, you have to slow down because the camera didn't let you go quickly. So I was shooting fewer images at the wedding because I was, rather than going bang, 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 I was ka-chunk. And then I was taking it because it just wasn't that quick. And I've kept that approach, even though the cameras have got better and quicker and faster. I still have that methodical approach to, well, why take 5 when I just need 2? Or I take 3 rather than 10. But again, that brings the edit down because I'm taking fewer images. And that means I'm culling less, which means I'm giving them less, because if you're giving a gallery 1,000 images, they're going to be overwhelmed. My galleries are probably 400 or 500 pictures from a whole day, and that's what I get to see.
And, I mean, the add-on effect of that is, if you think about it, your editing process is quicker, which basically means your overall turnaround time is quicker, which then means that you have more time to do things like portraits on the side.
Or have time off.
Or have time off, yeah.
Have time off. Whereas, even in the height of the COVID madness, where we came out of lockdown, and I shot 48 weddings in 10 weeks because we had...
Thank you so much for tuning in. If you enjoyed that clip, then press here for the full episode in glorious Technicolor. Hey, and don't forget to subscribe.